Underwater hockey is an incredible sport played worldwide now, but the history behind it is sometimes a bit blurred, even for the players. One thing is sure, it comes from England and more precisely in Portsmouth, and that's what brought MSTV here. So, without further ado, let's dig into the history of underwater hockey with the discovery of the South Sea Club, where, as their motto say, everything began.
It was invented for an entertainment in the winter when the spearfishermen weren't playing in the sea and they wanted a bit more warmer waters. Originally there was 8, hence the octo-push, being the 8-figure. The first nationals had 3 entrants from the south coast. South Sea won it, and then I think it ultimately grew and grew and grew. And then the national comps now, we've got in our Nautilus about over 50 clubs going there from all over the country. So it's very, very competitive. And this club has always been up there and around there since the beginning, so we've done really well over the past few years. We were on a 5-year winning streak at the moment, and long may that continue.
I like to keep like the hockey buzz as it was like very much around South Sea, because obviously I like to keep it where it originally began, and I would like people to remember like that's where it began, like that's like the history behind it. I feel like that's quite important, because obviously this sport is played worldwide now, and it's quite nice to know, like, obviously my great-grandfather's passed away now. It's quite nice to know that it's sort of his legacy is still going, but I quite like the fact that I'm sort of trying to keep his legacy alive. But
yeah, it makes me really proud every time I put on my Bavers, you know, my South Sea Bavers, and wear my kit and we go to a tournament together, and be able to say kind of, you know, it's where it all started and we're part of that, you know, and to represent my club is, yeah, it's amazing to be part of that. Yeah, it does feel a bit of pressure, but we enjoy that, you know, that's kind of, sometimes need that to get the best out of myself, really. If playing on a training session, I don't always bring my best game, but I feel like when the pressure's on, I actually start playing as hard as I can and find it, yeah.
This club is the oldest one in the world and has lived throughout the years pretty successfully, but like every club, it had tough times at some point.
Yeah, there have been. There's always, where every up there is a down. I think it was around the 80s. There was a team called the Club where all of the best players in the country joined together, bar a couple. So they all basically created a dominant force in UK hockey and then won everything, bar a few devout players like named Words who sticks with our club, a bit of a legend. So there have been those times where people have done it. There's credit to some other northern teams, and they've done pretty well. About 10 years ago they had a good little winning streak, and some other teams in London. So the teams have their days, but what we're proud of is that we're always kicking in and around there over those times, despite the downs.
Nonetheless, for the moment it goes pretty well for the men's team, which is undefeated since 5 years now.
I think it took us a while to get to that, but it's a mentality of, it's a fear of loss, I think, drives us forward. So we've kept it going for a long time now. We've been in some bad situations where, in Eurocup competitions where we should have won and we haven't won. So we know what it feels like to lose, and that's what drives us on to keep on trying to win them. We want to keep up there at the top and keep on doing it.
Yeah, the men's team is very much the global standard, like the national standard, like they're the best in the country, our team. So the ladies team, so it's actually a little bit of a mix-up. So it's normally about six of us ladies, and then we try and incorporate some juniors. So we'll have some juniors from like Southwest or some juniors from South Sea and play with us. So from when I started playing with South Sea ladies, we made it from the 2nd division, and now we're 5th in the top division, and we were quite a way down the 2nd division. So we've literally moved up 8 places since I've been playing. But obviously we're getting better every time we play. It's getting used to playing as a team. So obviously now it's mixed. So the more we get a chance to play as ladies together, and as well as the mixed, it's constantly improving. So we're hopefully working our way up to hopefully getting a medal next year. Yeah. But not quite at the South Sea standard.
We have some great ladies that play within Southsea. The actual Southsea ladies team is also really strong. We have been working really, really hard to develop our younger players. So at the ladies nationals a couple of weeks ago, we improved our position by 1 place, which was a really big achievement for us considering we had some really junior players in there, 13, 14-year-olds, but it was great to see them even on the day develop. So I think, again, we're just like driving home that ability to bring people on, and hopefully we can continue our success a lot more. And even, some of the girls at our club who have gone off to have babies, we always come and hope that they come back, and they always do. And we've got a really good base here that we're trying to grow and develop.
At Southsea you can find the best players of the UK in the same pool, so it makes a really good training for whoever comes here.
A lot of the club have also had the opportunity to play at national level, so that really strengthens as well our ability as a part of the club. I'd say sort of most of the A team, if not 90%, have sort of played at that GB level, and a lot of us girls have too competed at age groups all the way up through to elites now. So we use that experience as well to bring back to the club and just to grow really.
Yeah, so it's quite daunting playing with the elite players and that, but at the end of the day, it's going to make me better, and it's quite nice to know because a lot of them give out tips. Like if they see me do something, like, oh, if you try it this way, it'll work better. And like they've definitely, since I've started playing with Southsea, the adult team, it's made me such a better player, and like realise and like I've learned so much from all of them.
In 2016, the World Championships in South Africa, we had 8 players. So out of the 12 that travelled, 8 of them were Southsea players. And that was our most successful tournament as Great Britain for about 20 years. So we got a bronze medal. We did really well. That's the best GB Elite have done in a long time. And it was a bit of us able to bring the success of the club to Great Britain, but it also reflected back on the club as well. So it worked a bit together in unison, really.
An impressive level then, but Southsea still keep in mind an important point to work on.
Yeah, I'd say we really need to work on our youth. So on a Friday night we have that juniors session, and I actually think it's something that, I need to do more of myself as well, but all of us members of the club, we started from somewhere. We started from that junior position to get to sort of the position we're at now. So I think maybe if we invest a bit more time into our juniors, maybe even try and reach out into schools, especially schools that have swimming pools, and just try and bring on sort of the younger players, because some of our guys are getting on a bit now, so they're not going to be at the top for much longer.
Another major problem for this club, their training is not in Portsmouth but in Basingstoke, which is around 1.5 hours from the city, but Anthony Bailey got an explanation.
We used to train down at the initial pool, the Navy pool where it all started, but it's quite small, it's quite old-fashioned, they didn't really update it, so we sort of outgrew it. The club grew, we got lots of numbers, and we weren't able to play at the standard and the level we needed to. So the nearest and kind of best baths we could find were up here in Basingstoke. That's very much a problem in England, is finding a good swimming pool that has got nice tiles to play on and that want to let us play underwater hockey. We used to train in one main pool in Portsmouth, which is where we should play because that's where we are. But they started having problems with the pool and tried to blame it on us, but there was something wrong with the boom. They kicked us out, we haven't been back, so we play here instead, but it's a great pool. It's just a bit of a shame we do have to travel, yeah.
So if this training isn't where it began, where did it really begin? You will have the answer soon in the second part of that video, where we will dive directly into the historical pool where underwater hockey was invented, so stay tuned.